My real beginning in conservation, I was a traditional, conventional farmer for 4 years. And in 1976, I read a report that Lake Lou Yaeger, located at Litchfield, Illinois, was the fastest silting inland lake in the state of Illinois, and that was put together by the Illinois Water Survey at the University of Illinois. My entire farm, with the exception of 40 acres, was in that watershed. And with that, I decided that maybe I should change some of the practices. We took over the farms. There was no, we farmed right up to the ditch, and there's times with, you know, the bank would slough off and you were so close you'd lose a part of a row if you had a sloughing bank. And so I changed the direction that we farm. We farm that particular 40 that has the highly erodible soils. We farm that on the contour. With the soil that we used to create the two-stage ditch, we put that back into the waterway, but there is no erosion with no-till, cover crops, contour planting. Then they have a 100-foot filter strip along the ditch. In 2012, there was an opportunity for some clean air money through EQIP and NRCS, and I began at that time to use cover crops. With these practices, what I've learned is one of the things you have to do, you have to change your management, and it's got to be changed to fit the practice of what you're doing. Today, that's progressed to a 5-way mix in front of corn, and in front of the soybeans is all cereal rye.
You know, Dick's been doing these conservation practices on his land for a long time, but the benefits on his farm, because he's been no-tilling for so long, when he started doing cover crops, he started to see a lot more improvements in soil health, water holding capacity in his soils, and just overall a much healthier soil health system than what he had just with no-till practices alone.
And I have a nutrient management program on every 2.5 acre grid that I have out here. And I'm saving a lot of money on commercial fertilizers. So that's why I do these things. It's not only morally right, but it's also financially sound.
It's important for him to evaluate the practices based on, you know, the benefit to the land, but also the benefit to the bottom line.
Financial numbers, we know, are really important for the sustainability, not only of our own lives, but of the operation of the farm. But these numbers are also important to me in finding out what's actually agronomically happening to my plants out in the field. How fast are our soybeans progressing? Are they progressing better in a cooler temperature with a cover crop? Are they progressing better in regards to searching for light as far as growth? These are the kinds of questions that I think research makes the difference.
His ability to try new things, his willingness to step out of his comfort zone, and he did this many, many years ago and continues to do that today. So his impact stretches far and wide, all the way from the field level to the state capitol here in Illinois.
This past year, with the dust storm that we had on I-55, I was in the field that time side dressing. I wasn't putting out any dust, but what could I do if the neighbor had dust coming across? And so I went down and signed up for CRP, and I'll be planting a windbreak for a 1/4 mile. You're taught when you're a young child, and when I was in my family, that you try not to make mistakes, you try to do the right thing in everything you do. Consider others whenever you're doing whatever you're doing. If you translate that into farming so you conserve the soil, producing a quality product to sell, trying to avoid making mistakes, and even though so you learn to do things by trial and error and not do things all at once, those are the things that fuel me. I want a farm that I can pass along to these grandchildren that is as good a shape as I could possibly make it. At my age, will I ever see that windbreak full grown? Probably not, but there's an old saying about a man who sits under it, plants a tree, and then when he knows he won't receive the benefit of the shade during his life. That's why I do it. I want something for the future for my grandchildren, for the people that follow me on this land.